It is an ancient tradition to give an outstanding graduate selected by our undergraduate students the opportunity to address the commencement assembly on behalf of fellow students. This year, our graduates have selected Summer Breeze Bedard to represent them. As a freshman, Summer was awarded a Banneker Key Merit Scholarship given to the top 1% of our incoming students, and I distinctly remember calling Summer to tell her that she had won the Banneker Key and that I really, really hoped she would come to Merrill College. And she's one of the only ones who's ever said to me immediately, "I will be there." Summer also was instrumental in helping launch our satire class last year called Laughing Matters. So please join me in welcoming to the podium Summer Bedard.
I'm very sorry. There's no water here, so if I cough, just go with it. I want to begin by thanking the faculty, staff, and students at the Philip Merrill College of Journalism for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I was chosen by the people, and can I just say what an honor it is? Out of a massive electorate of 30-some graduating seniors, 15 people actually read the email from Olive Reed, and 2 of those people actually voted. Thank you, guys. Of course, those numbers are not accurate. I'm not even counting all the graduating English majors who voted illegally, or the business majors who donated an obscene amount of money to my campaign. Philip Merrill College of Journalism, class of 2017. What a year to graduate with a degree in journalism. Woo! When you picked this major a few years ago, you and your parents probably had no idea you were studying to become an enemy of the people. Clearly a lot has changed. When I started here as a freshman, the biggest question facing journalists was from a regular segment, "Where in the world is Matt Lauer?" Well, we finally have an answer to that question. He's at home reevaluating his life choices. Now we must face new questions, namely, how will we make money, and why did everyone stop believing basic facts? It's a weird time to be any type of person, but it's a scary time to be a journalist. Our president said that freedom of the press, the First Amendment, is disgusting. There are literal Russian Twitter bots named @MAGA_Helen who spew white supremacist garbage in 280 characters or less. Then there's someone's actual aunt, a real human person, with the Twitter name @Helen_MAGA, who says the same things, and it's very difficult to tell them apart. Other media outlets, and I won't name names, so let's call them Breitbart and Fox News, have a cohesive, organized effort to undermine your stories and the trust the world has in those stories. I'm not preaching. This is not a biased rant. This is the truth. We've spent years and thousands of dollars studying how to find the truth, how to tell the truth, and most importantly, why to tell the truth. Now that we're finally ready to do that, it seems like no one wants to hear it. You must be strong, and you must push forward. There's fake news, and there's fake news. The first being literal fake news stories created by an Eastern European teenager for thousands of dollars, the second being any news story you don't like if you're the president, and the third being satire, which at its core, it turns out, is the realest news of all. When I was a freshman, in my first day of class, Professor Stepp told us the astonishing fact that most people in our generation got news from comedy shows. But when I told my teachers I wanted to be a news comedian, I got a lukewarm, "Good luck with that." Most comedians do. I want to tell you, the graduates, not to be afraid to shake things up. There's a friction in the world of journalism where we are fully aware of the changes that are occurring, but we aren't willing enough to embrace new methods. Maybe you're like me and you don't want to be a traditional reporter. You don't have to be. I may go on to create satirical fake news, but from all of the ethical training I got from this degree, you better believe I will only make fake news that is true. I want to thank Leslie Walker and Tom Batag, who finally let me pursue satirical news in a class we created last year. It took 7 semesters, but I finally convinced somebody that this was an art form worth teaching. My group and I made a satirical newscast called Good Morning Trump's America, a North Korea-style state-sponsored show broadcast right out of the White House, where we took every single news story and spun it to reflect positively on the current administration. We thought it was funny, if a little over the top, but a few months later, Trump's Facebook page debuted a MAGA news show with the same objective. Me and my group members are still waiting for our royalty fees. We are coming of age at a point of reckoning in the world of journalism. There's no room for mistakes. There's also no room for complacency. This year, I attended the Online News Association conference. In a politics panel, a writer for The Daily Show asked everyone in the room, hundreds of journalists from top organizations, to raise their hands if they thought the president was a liar. Despite an incredible amount of documentation, only a few people in the room, including myself, raised their hands. They were afraid of seeming biased. We've reached a point in a politically polarized post-truth America where facts seem biased. Facts are said to have a liberal political angle, and you need to be willing to stand up and say that is wrong. Through all the hard deadlines, the AP style book, the vigorous lynda.com tutorials, thank God for them, we're forgetting that the core of journalism is just honesty and authenticity. There are so many fake people in news, and that's not what this job is about. Be your authentic self. The world is begging for authenticity right now. I will start. I will lead by example. I'll be completely honest with you guys, I'm terrified. I have no clue what I'm going to do after graduation. I got an interview for my dream job and was promptly turned down. After high school graduation, we were glowing. We were free. College graduation, I'm about to live with my grandma and figure stuff out. I'm scared, I'm worried. When I was writing this speech, I found out that something really bad happened to a person I love very much. I'm freaking out, I'm not okay. Life is hard. It's even harder if you want to change the world. But we are strong enough to do it. Be yourself, you are amazing. Be ready to take the reins and understand that you might know the new ropes better than old legacy journalists do. We are millennials, we live and breathe technology, but that doesn't mean we're dependent on it. I actually tweeted that this morning and it got 4 likes, which all of my self-worth is based on. I've never written a graduation speech. All of the speeches I've given have been at funerals. This is very similar, but to be safe, to prepare for this, I binge-watched commencement speeches from J.K. Rowling, Steve Jobs, Kylie Jenner, all the great thinkers of our time. And every single one of those speeches had something in common. They were about not being afraid to fail, how you have to be ready, willing, excited even to fail. But I'm going to disagree with that, because maybe the only reason you're here receiving your diploma is because you were afraid to fail. Maybe you majored in journalism and stuck it out for the past year because you're afraid to see the world fail, to see institutions fail their people. And nothing motivates quite as well as good old-fashioned existential dread. I want you to know that being scared and worried does not strip you of your bravery. Everyone who is paying attention is scared. Let it fuel us. Let it light a fire inside us that carries us through the night. Now, if I were a politician, I would have ended my speech on that line. If I were a journalist, I would have been concise and ended the speech 5 minutes ago. There is a lot of fat to trim before this baby's fit to broadcast. As a comedian, I cannot end without a joke. Why was Superman a hero? Was it because he could fly? Because he could save people from burning buildings? No. He was a hero because by day he was a reporter at a news popper. Newspaper? Am I saying that word right? Newspaper. Sorry, I haven't said that in a long time. Somebody fact check that. And who was the second greatest hero? Spider-Man, because he was a news photog. There were some ethics issues with him literally covering himself, but he was just a high schooler, and I am sure that by the time he graduates from the Philip Merrill College of Journalism, he will have learned the rules. Thank you. Please follow me. Everyone, take your phones out and follow me on Twitter at I'm just kidding, I bet you thought I was done telling jokes. Good luck. Make me proud. Or better yet, make the world proud. Make yourself proud. And most importantly, have some respect for yourself. Do not accept a job with Fox News. Thank you.